A very good morning to you and welcome to the Morning Outlook Report. I'm Rachel Jones reporting live from Kalkine TV Sydney studios. Now, Australian shares are set to edge higher at the open this morning. US share markets ended mixed on Friday. Shares in Nike lost 6.3% after delivering a weaker than expected sales forecast. Shares in Facebook rose 2% and Tesla gained 2.7%. Shares of cryptocurrency-related firms fell. That's after China's central bank put a ban on crypto trading and mining. The Dow Jones index rose by 33 points or 0.1%. The S&P 500 index gained 0.2%, but the Nasdaq index lost 4.5 points or less than 0.1%. Over the week, the Dow rose 0.6%, S&P 500 rose 0.5%, and the Nasdaq rose by 0.02%. Back home, Aussie shares failed to improve on Friday, snapping a three-day winning streak and extending the market's losses to a third straight week. The ASX 200 eased by 0.37% to 7,342.6 and is down 2.5% this month. Over the course of last week, the market's focus was on a potential property crisis in China and the US central bank providing greater clarity on its plans to reduce emergency stimulus measures. The ASX 200 had its worst start to a week in 15 months back on Monday, and it went on a three-day winning streak before easing on Friday. The index fell by 0.83% this week. 5 billion shares were traded on Friday, worth $8.2 billion, with 652 stocks up, 746 down and 428 finishing unchanged. In today's company news, Fleetwood has secured a $32 million contract for a new 1,000-bed centre for national resilience in Melbourne. The Commonwealth Government established a panel of providers and the principal contractor, that's Multiplex, has selected Fleetwood as one of several suppliers of modular buildings that will make up the purpose-built quarantine facility. The contract is expected to result in revenue of approximately $32 million for financial year 2022. The Centre for National Resilience in Mickleham in Victoria will be built and owned by the federal government and will be operated by the Victorian government for the duration of the COVID-19 pandemic. In other news, 𝐊𝐵𝐷𝐞, an ASX-listed company focused on exploration, development and production of lithium chemicals, released their full-year statutory accounts today. Their managing director, Joe Walsh, says significant advancements were made in financial year 2021, despite the challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic. The company is now well positioned to deliver on its strategy to become a globally significant alkali metals chemical producer. As demand for lithium chemicals in particular increases, that's to support the rapid adoption of electric vehicles over the coming years. We're now going to take a very short break, but we'll be back with everything you need to know to trade today. Stay tuned.
Tune in to stay updated while on the move.
We will tell you where the crypto craze has reached,
Where the property market is headed next.
what the world is doing to become more environmentally friendly.
Apart from tracking the daily market charter.
Be on top of the latest news and announcements
With Kalkine TV.
Welcome back. I'm Rachel and you're watching the Morning Outlook Report. Now, today marks the end of an era with the retirement of German Chancellor Angela Merkel, dubbed the most powerful woman in the world. She's been leading Germany for 16 years and brought stability in many times of crisis. A three-way coalition is a potential outcome. In the UK, thousands of Brits are running low on petrol due to a shortage of truck drivers due to COVID-19, an ageing workforce and Brexit. Britain's government will issue 5,000 three-month visas for truck drivers starting in October. However, apparently that's not enough to address the problem. Back home, Victoria's recorded 705 new locally acquired cases of COVID-19 and one death. Today's tally is down from yesterday's 779 cases. And the New South Wales government at 11 a.m. this morning Eastern Standard Time will reveal its reopening roadmap for when the state reaches 80% double dose vaccination coverage. And over in America, it's expected the US House will vote on the $1 trillion infrastructure bill later today. Staying in the US, in US economic data, new home sales rose by 1.5% in August to a 740,000 annual rate. European share markets were weaker on Friday. Investors monitored developments at the troubled Chinese property giant Evergrande. The Pan-European Stock 600 index lost 0.9% on Friday, but rose 0.3% over the week. The German DAX index fell by 0.7% ahead of general elections. And the UK FTSE index fell by 0.4%. In London trade, shares in Rio Tinto fell by 0.6% and BHP shares fell by 1.3%. Major currencies were weaker against the US dollar in European and US trade. The euro fell from highs near 1.1740 US dollars to lows near 1.1700. The Aussie dollar stands at 72.20 US cents against the US dollar. Global oil prices lifted on Friday with Brent crude at 3-year highs. Global supply disruptions have led to inventory drawdowns. The Brent crude price rose by 84 US cents or 1.1% to $78.09 a barrel. The US NYMEX crude price added 68 US cents or 0.9% to $73.98 a barrel. Over the week, Brent crude rose for the third straight week, up by $2.75 or 3.7%. Base metal prices were mostly higher. Tin rose the most, with nickel up the least. Aluminium fell 1.1%. Over the week, tin rose to record highs, with the only decline being lead. That was down 0.3%. Oil prices continue to gain, with Brent prices closing near a 3-year high. Gold lifted slightly overnight on a weaker dollar and continued uncertainty surrounding Evergrande. Iron ore lifted by $1.25 a tonne or 1.1% to $110.15 a tonne and has now stabilised somewhat. That's all for your morning Outlook report here on 𝐊𝐼𝐴 TV. Have a great day trading and stay tuned for more market updates and economic news live throughout the day. This is Rachel signing off for now.